Family-owned business Thermoform of America was founded in 1994 by Mr. Guy Lacerte and his spouse, Mrs. Colette Leblanc. Visionary, innovator, and active enthusiast of all that is new technologies, Mr. Lacerte has been able to ensure an exponential evolution of the business over the years. Be it by customizing high-tech equipment or by in-house design and development of machinery, new technologies are constantly being implanted to increase productivity and improve and standardize the quality of the final product. In all of that concerns thermoplasted or laminated covered components, Thermoform rises above the competition on a national scale by steadily being on the lookout for new products, colors, and materials. Thermoform maintains a notable influence on market demands by meeting expectations of today's designers. The company took its first steps in Mr. Lacerte's garage. At that moment, the owner had over 20 years of experience in construction and renovations. Today, Thermoform occupies 2 buildings exceeding 100,000 square feet of working area and has over 85 employees. Company growth hasn't changed the familiarity with which Thermoform is run. Here, no partition walls separate the office staff. Guy and Colette are constantly in contact with their employees and are very much involved in the administration and development of the business. Also, both of the owner's sons are actively implicated in the business, which ensures a continuity to the family-owned business. The course of a door's manufacturing starts with the client's order. The purchase order is processed and put in production by the administrative staff. The employees use different IT programs developed in-house by Antoine Lacerte, one of Guy and Colette's sons, and his team of programmers. On the factory floor, a worker meticulously sands the MDF boards in advance, thus preparing the material needed in the door's machining. The dust created at the sanding station is recovered and stored in a container until enough is accumulated to be shipped for recycling at a subsequent date. As a general rule, Thermoform only works with MDF of superior quality and varying thicknesses according to client specifications. At the same time, the processed order is transferred to a router, a CNC machine operating on 3 axes. The required material is placed on the cutting table by the machine operator, where the machine will cut the doors out of the MDF board according to what the client has ordered. The excess MDF is either reused for the cutting of smaller doors or cut for the fabrication of skids. Once the door is cut, the operator proceeds to a first quality check. Depending on the model chosen by the client, the employees will need to sand the door and remove any excess MDF to ensure a quality finish to the piece. To ensure an easy follow-up of the order, the worker scans the board's barcode, thus saving information concerning the client's order and the progression of the pieces in the production line. The completed pieces are then sent to the pressing lines. The processed doors are scanned at every important step throughout production until the product is finished and packaged for delivery. The scanning process allows any given door to be found by employees wishing to know where in the manufacturing process the doors are. At the beginning of the pressing line, the worker places each piece on a conveyor belt according to an IT optimization program. Once on the conveyor belt, the doors are sprayed evenly with a water-based adhesive using 2 automated gluing robots. Each robot has 2 automated arms, which are controlled by the machine. These arms evenly spray the top and sides of all pieces, thus preventing any future delamination of the finish. The operator makes sure the spray nozzles are working correctly so that each door is keeping with Thermoform's standards of quality. The doors then continue their way into the oven, where they will be heated in such a way that all the water contained in the glue evaporates, leaving only adhesive on the surface of the pieces. After this step, the doors are hand sanded by the workers, visually inspected, and then dusted with blowguns until the tray containing the doors passes beneath the press. The tray then re-emerges on the other side of the press, where a worker prepares and installs the color needed for this order. The machine automatically unrolls the required length of 3D PVC to cover the tray in its entirety. After this step, the covered tray enters the press. There, heat and pressure is applied to the tray to ensure a perfect molding of the PVC to the doors. This is the thermoforming. The tray then exits the press. It now contains doors that are linked to a sheet of PVC. To facilitate the removal of the excess PVC, the doors are flipped over so as to expose their underside. Both presses work simultaneously and both flippers are coordinated so all the trays are sent to be inspected using the same conveyor belt. Once at the inspection department, the excess PVC is cut away from the doors. These scraps are compacted into bundles and sent to a recycling plant at an ulterior date. Each door is individually inspected. Any defective door is instantly rejected to either be crushed for recycling or set aside by employees to be used as furniture components. As for 5-piece doors, the MDF sheet has previously been sanded, then covered with 3D PVC on one side. The worker then sands the door's centers to be pressed. Once this step is completed, the MDF board returns to the CNC machine where the centers will be cut out. Once the pieces pass inspection and are deemed true to in-house quality standards, they are sent to the 5-piece door department. While the centers are processed at the CNC machines, the door's moldings, used to contour the centers, are machined at the 5-piece door department. Using an automated wrapper, Thermoform wraps all its own moldings needed for production in 3D PVC. Once wrapped, the moldings are individually inspected and stored. These finished moldings are then selected and cut according to client specifications. All moldings are visually inspected after each manipulation. Workers proceed to final assembly when the centers and the moldings are ready. An employee applies glue to each molding's extremity as well as in the groove. The pieces are then placed in the door clamp, a machine that was developed in-house to assemble and set the door's different components together. Once cleaned and inspected, the door is sent to the shipping department. Thermoform also offers glass doors in its selection of products. Once thermoformed, an extra step is needed for the manufacturing of this door. The door is placed on a CNC machine where the inside of each opening will be grooved. As it were, a retaining strip can be now inserted in the opening, thus holding a glass pane in place. The MDF that is exposed following the cutting will be painted so as to match the door color of the PVC. Finally, the doors are sent to the shipping department. Most doors are packed and shipped on skids. Once again, all doors are scanned prior to packaging. A protective foam is used to ensure that the doors don't suffer any damage during transit. The skids are then wrapped with polyethylene and stored until shipment. Some doors, due to size, quantity, or client specifications, are packed into boxes. The worker identifies which door needs to be packed into boxes by scanning the barcode on each product. The doors are then wrapped in polyethylene using an automated circular wrapper. The package will then be placed on pre-glued sheets of carton. The employee who adds cut-out pieces of polystyrene to the doors so as to ensure the extremities of the product are not damaged during transportation. The doors are then packed into a cardboard box. The box is then scanned, and with the help of an in-house developed optimization program, a slot is assigned to this box for temporary storage. Moldings are packaged at another workstation. The employee wraps each molding individually in protective foam. They are then placed in a box that will be carefully sealed. Always keeping in mind client satisfaction, and in a relationship combining trust and efficiency, Thermoform is and will always be avant-garde in the field of thermoformed or laminated cupboard components.